Hi, I'm Kelly Byers, 21 years old.
I'm Travis Fassel, and I'm 19 years old.
I'm Landon Caffel, and I'm 17 years old.
I'm Jesse Smith, and I'm 16 years old.
Stock car racing's next great young star is working hard in the ASA Late Model Challenge Series. The tour moves to Jennerstown Speedway. And welcome to Jennerstown Speedway in Jennerstown, Pennsylvania, just west of Pittsburgh. It's the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Doug Rice is alongside. Eric Bertosiglio will be on pit road for us this evening as the ASA stars tackle this legendary half-mile racetrack.
Kelly Byers, the points leader by 140 over Landon Castle. Travis Dassow in third. Eddie Hoffman, Chad Wood rounds out the top five.
Peter Cozzolino had that heartbreaker at I-70, sixth in the championship standings, and a driver who led the championship fight early in the season is our fast qualifier here. There's Kelly Byers in the Waltom Texor car number 89. He leads the title fight now, heading to the seventh race of the season. Earlier, Derek caught up with our ARP buddies fast qualifier.
Well, Chad Wood's the fast qualifier. He holds the track record, finished third in the race here last year, and Chad, real strong car. Your chances look really good.
Yeah, TDS Ford Fusion's really good tonight. It's been good all day off the truck. Just one of those deals, the invert was 9 tonight, so that was a little rough for us, but, a lot of good competition in front of us, but I think we got a good enough car to get up there. We got 200 laps, so hopefully this TDS car can get up to the front. We can get a win for ourselves.
Good luck tonight. That's Chad Wood. He's your fast qualifier.
Chad Wood hoping to turn fast qualifying into a fast race tonight. As you look at Landon Castle there in the number 7, he'll start in a backup car, Rick.
He comes off that win at I-70, but got into the wall here during practice today at the legendary Jennerstown Speedway. Talk about a track where the greats have run over the years. This is certainly one of those places in American short track racing. Rick Miller starts on the pole in the 125. Jack Smith was second last time out. He'll start second. Travis Dassow and Jesse Smith, row number 2.
Row 3, Peter Cozzolino and Eddie Hoffman in the 8. Flashing over to row number 4, it's going to be Kelly Byers, the points leader, and Chris Stump in the 35.
In the 5th row, you've got the night's fast qualifier, the TDS Telecom Ford of Chad Wood. Charlie Menard in the Menard Stores Chevy. He'll start in 10th. He was 10th quick. Landon Castle has to come from the 6th row with Ken Wills tonight.
Jeff Van Odenhoven starts back in row 9, and Gary Wiltrout will be our 20th starter.
Bill Tomlinson will start among the final 8 cars. Chris Purdy, Chris Lester, and Tony Rosebrew will round out the starting lineup tonight here at Jennerstown Speedway. So the field getting ready to go green, Doug Rice. This is a place where you really need to know how to make your race car handle.
Weathered racetrack up here in Pennsylvania. The weather has a lot to do with the condition of the asphalt here. The place usually puts on a great show no matter who shows up to compete at Jennerstown.
There is a big dip in the racetrack out on the backside. The drivers here have had to navigate for many, many, many seasons. It's one of those places that veterans take rookies around and say, hey, keep your eyes on this part of the racetrack. Know what you've got to work with. A little bigger than a half mile. And it's a flat racetrack, Derek.
Rick, you're absolutely right, and the word tonight is handling, handling, handling. I've gone up and down this pit road all day long. Everyone says that chassis setup is going to be the key factor to winning. This track has 700-foot turns and 500-foot straightaways, so the turns are longer than the straightaways. You're in the corner most of the time around this place, so you have to have the chassis working underneath you.
Riding on board with Jeff Van Odenhoven in the long-haul trucking machine.
We'll carry one of our onboard looks tonight, the 08 car. Also carrying one of our cameras tonight, rookie Kyle Martell. He's from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Finish Line Express, Reese's Candies car. He starts pretty deep in the field this evening. Landon Castle had to drop to the back, Doug. He's in a backup car tonight, so Castle, who won at I-70 a few weeks ago, he'll have to start at the tail end here tonight at Jennerstown.
Tough enough to have to race at Jennerstown, much less starting shotgun on the field.
This is one of those places where there's so many legends who've come and won here. You know you've got to be up on the wheel all night. This is a tough place to get around.
If you win here, you have earned it, definitely.
Getting ready to go green in the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. We're glad to have you with us. Rick Miller and Jack Smith, the front row, underway at Jennerstown.
Rick, you want to get to the bottom here. I know we say that all the time, but a flat racetrack, there's just no advantage to being up on the high side as Rick Miller right now has got his car planted on the bottom at the start.
Miller driving that 125, making his first start in the ASA Late Model Challenge race. He's from Dunbar, Pennsylvania, one of the local heroes here in Jennerstown. This is a place where they run super late models on a weekly basis. So you've got a sprinkling of guys who really know their way around here in our field tonight. Smith settles into solid trouble right away. Is that Chris Stump again? It is! Chris Stump in the wall on lap 3. It's our first yellow of the night. Boy, he has bent up a lot of equipment this year.
Yeah, the last time we saw Chris Stump, it was at I-70 Speedway, and he totally trashed the car tonight. And the Tiger Light car's got a little bit of damage here from his encounter with the wall.
Had the brakes locked down when he slid up the racetrack. One more look at it here. He was backwards from the get-go.
And carrying a lot of speed into the wall as he got the right rear of that machine up into the outside retaining wall.
Just a couple of laps on the board tonight at Jennerstown Speedway. Back with more of the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200 in a moment. Back at Jennerstown, preparing for our first restart of the night. Quickly down to Derek, who's with Chris Stump.
Well, guys, it's a tough situation down here in the number 35 pit of Chris Stump. They actually got this car back from Port City Race Cars just last week. They worked on the car all week to get it ready for this race. Everything is new on this car with the exception of the center section. The only thing else that was salvageable was the engine. A tough break for Chris Stump this early in the race, and he gets taken out on lap 3.
And we've got to remember Chris Stump having that car rebuilt after a hard crash at I-70 Speedway, used up to 35.
9 laps go on the board. Green is back in the air. Miller continues to lead, and here comes Jack Smith in the Waffle House car. Wants the lead. He hasn't won one of these things yet this year.
Miller drifting up the racetrack, opening up the door of opportunity. Really can't take advantage of it that time, though.
Third spot belongs to Travis Dassow in the 92. The 81 car of young Jesse Smith, age 16, running in fourth. We told you about all the young guns in this series, but one of the veterans, Jack Smith, would like the lead in the early going.
Jack Smith trying to work down to the bottom. Miller Miller will hold him off one more circuit. Rick, I tell you, they've got so many kids racing in this series that they can't use the excuse, I'm late because I was shaving.
No, most of them probably late because they didn't get their homework done on time. Out front, it's still Miller. Fifth belongs to Peter Cozzolino. He's running hard to stay in front of Eddie Hoffman, who won the season opener there in the Lisa Thomas car number 8.
Eddie Hoffman trying to find the magic that he enjoyed at the first race of the season. Since then, it's been a bit thin for the 8 machine.
It's been a struggle for that team. Hoffman, though, a guy with a lot of wins to his credit over the years, knows how to get the job done. And if you're Peter Cozzolino, you've got to be thinking, hey, I want redemption. He led just about the entire race in the Missouri 150. His team car, that's the 111 of James Schaub, he is off the pace down on the inside.
Peter Cozzolino probably should have a trophy by now, but he is racing with a big what-if out there for the moment.
Now there's the 111 of Schaub. He lined up 25th in Cozzolino's backup car. They'll take that car behind the wall. They are done early this evening. Up front, though, it's still the pole sitter, Rick Miller, in that 125. Oh, trouble. Chad Wood in the 2 car loses the machine. He goes sliding up the racetrack in the TDS Telecom Ford, whacks the wall in turn 1, and the yellow will come out for the second time tonight. We don't even have 20 laps on the board yet.
Chad Wood, one of the pre-race favorites here, but he's got a used-up race car now. The entire right-hand side of Chad Wood's car pancaked in.
Our ARP Bodies fast qualifier, that great-looking Ford Fusion. Wood got in trouble on the front straightaway and went sliding up the racetrack and clouded the concrete here at Jennerstown. Looked as though there might have been some contact that turned that car and got him up the racetrack.
Chad Wood out of it early tonight here at Jennerstown.
Bill Tomlinson in the 3. He started every race on the tour so far this season, but he's had problems early again here tonight, so he is behind the wall. Chad Wood out of the race car. Tough and short night in the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. We're back at Jennerstown. Derek Bernasiglio has caught up with a disappointed Chad Wood.
Well, Chad Wood was the fast qualifier. He had a lot of hopes going into tonight's race, but a hard shot into the wall. The good part is that you're okay.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. It just, unfortunate deal. Early in the race there, you got to have a little give and take. And I mean, not Charlie's fault. Not, Kelly in front of us was chopping us a little bit, but I mean, you just got to have a little give and take. And there was really none of that out there tonight. And that early in the race, you got to do that. And TDS car's all torn up now, and for no reason really. But what can we do? We just get it fixed the best we can and try to get back out there if we can. But pretty torn up in the right front, so let's see what we can do.
Who are you gesturing to out there? You didn't look happy.
No, I mean, like I said, there's just no give and take. I mean, you got to be able to, I saw that Kelly was working on the 8 car, so I flagged back a little bit, let him get some room to work over the 8 car, and then as soon as I did that, then I got stomped over and, from behind. But I mean, like I said, Charlie's a great guy, a good friend of mine, so it's hard to be mad at him. But like I say, you just got to have a little give and take. So what can you do?
Chad Wood in a really fast race car out of it early here tonight at Jennerstown.
Referring to Charlie Menard, his fellow Wisconsin native there, they got together, Menard, and that Menard Stores 13, one of the faster cars in the field tonight as well. Meantime, back underway, and Jack Smith in the Waffle House Ford going after our pole sitter, Rick Miller, in that Pontiac. The 125 has led all the way so far.
Jack Smith trying to plant that race car down on the bottom and make the move on Miller. He's got a good angle right now.
Coming off, too, is one of the prime places to pass here at Jennerstown. Third belongs to Travis Dassow. Smith is fourth. There's Eddie Hoffman leading Kelly Byers. Top 7 are nose to tail here.
Kelly Byers, of course, the points leader, rolling into Jennerstown here, just wanting to get to that halfway point, make some key adjustments, and pick up some spots.
Brent Downey next in line in Glenn Allen Jr.'s car, the 23. Behind him, Ken Wills in the 5, who had a top 5 run at I-70. So both of those drivers coming off very strong outings, particularly Wills in the 5. Everybody single file. Casalino takes a look for a spot, working on Jesse Smith for 4.
Casalino in the McDonald's machine right behind him. Hoffman, meanwhile, Miller's still on the point, but feeling the heat from Smith.
Jack Smith has the preferred line. He's down on the yellow stripe inside here at Jennerstown. He's got Miller moved up the racetrack. Jack Smith going for the lead.
It's just inevitable, Rick. If you're working down on the bottom of the racetrack here at Jennerstown, you're eventually going to make the pass, though. Got to give Miller a lot of credit. He's hanging tough.
Well, Miller is caught on the outside right now. Travis Dassow in the 92 will work to the bottom and try to move to second spot. Jesse Smith sees the door open as well. He's got pressure, though, from Peter Casalino.
Jesse Smith working back there in that position. Casalino's car working better down on the bottom of the racetrack, and they're having to move around some lap traffic here, and sometimes that gives you a big advantage point as we look at Jack Smith in the Waffle House machine pulling away just a touch.
Smith is getting some heat, though. Travis Dassow very quick on the bottom in the 92 car. Dassow will stay right with him. Miller may be slowing things down for the 3rd and 4th and 5th place cars. Miller in 3rd at the moment. Jesse Smith back there would like to get by him. What we saw there, the lap car, Chris Lester's 69 down on the inside. Everybody working past him a moment ago. Dassow all over Jack Smith's 4.
It looks like Jack Smith's got a handful of race car here, Rick. Look at him, how loose he is when he goes in the turn. The tail end of that car wanting to whip around. I think it's just a matter of time before Dassow can make a move.
Well, you'd think that this is one place, Doug, as flat as it is, just 9 degrees of bank here at Jennerstown. As Smith gets by to take over 3rd, Miller hung on the outside. Casalino will move the McDonald's car to 4th. You need to be tight here, I would think. You wouldn't want a loose race car.
No, a loose race car here. There's nothing to hold your car down on the racetrack. It's only 9 degrees of banking. Although right now Smith defying the odds and keeping Dassow at bay.
Peter Casalino working hard to try to take 3rd away from Jesse Smith in that Hormel Foods car. Smith just 16 years of age and very quick everywhere the tour goes. Casalino's been at this game a long time, and as we mentioned a moment ago, had that heartbreaker at I-70 Speedway just outside Kansas City earlier in the season.
Probably should have the trophy there. Landon Castle, of course, picked up that win, the 17-year-old, and that's one of the great things about this late model series, that all these youngsters here that are not just young, but they're also very talented.
Eddie Hoffman in the Lisa Thomas Salon car number 8. He is a wily veteran. Kelly Byers at age 21, the championship leader in the Wall-Tom Texor GM Performance car right behind, as Rick Miller gets shuffled further back in that 125. That's that yellow Pontiac. Now there's Landon Castle, who won at I-70. Had to bring out a backup car as we watch the race between Byers and Hoffman.
It's kind of hard to imagine that we're referring to Byers as the old guy at age 21, but he's also the points leader, trying to work under Hoffman here.
Kelly Byers with a great move, diving down into the corner. Hoffman let him have the opening on the inside. Kelly Byers clears the 8th car and picks up another position.
Just impressed by the way Byers drives. He never seems to get in over his head. He always has the car under control. When we talk to people and they talk about drivers and the characteristic they're looking for, car control is number 1 on the list.
Absolutely. Jack Smith with the lead in that red number 28, the Waffle House car with Travis Dassow trying to take the 92 to the bottom. Very tight racing down into 1.
Smith gets a little loose. Dassow can't take advantage of it that time around. Once again, Smith will hang on to the lead. It's getting crowded at the front.
Man, I'll tell you, Travis Dassow just did not have much room to work with at all. He knows you need to be to the inside. Jack Smith trying to keep the door closed to Dassow, that Chicago Region Council of Carpentry number 92. He's from West Bend, Wisconsin, is Travis Dassow. 2nd right now. Look at Byers putting pressure on Smith for 3rd.
Kelly Byers working on Smith. Dassow's in a in a tough spot. He's got to be worried about the leader, Smith, but he's also got to be worried about Byers coming up.
Kelly Byers able to make that Walltown machine work on the bottom of the racetrack, which is where you need to be, as we've documented. And Byers, with a fast race car tonight, he is headed to the front.
Kelly Byers has that machine running wherever he wants to. Now he's going to try to work on Dassow for the runner-up spot. Meanwhile, Dassow's been working all over that Waffle House machine of Smith.
Smith started second. Jack Smith, that is. Jesse Smith, no relation, started in fourth, and they're running 1-2 right now. That's Bobby Stremme in the 25 car. That's the car that Tony Rosebrew drove back at I-70, but that is normally Bobby Stremme's ride. They fixed that car after Rosebrew had problems with it, and he too riding toward the front right now.
Bobby Stremme giving the 25 a nice ride, and he's making it work on the outside. That's pretty impressive here.
Bobby Stremme, David's younger brother, plenty of skill, plenty of car control in that family. Lap traffic a factor on the inside as Jack Smith continues to lead. Byers third. Boy, there's a whole gaggle of them up front here.
Jack Smith's impressive because I thought Dassow had him about 4 or 5 laps ago, and he's been able to hold him at bay.
That's right here with Kyle Martell from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. That 59 car carrying one of our onboard views tonight. He is getting lapped by the faster traffic. So Kyle Martell being taken to school a little bit here at Jennerstown.
Kyle a little bit off the pace here, as you can see everybody whip around to the outside, but at least he's keeping a consistent line down at the bottom of the racetrack, letting the faster cars go around the top.
Kelly Byers runs third. Fourth belongs to Bobby Stremme. Byers to the inside of Travis Dassow there. That's a dangerous place to be.
And Dassow was kind of leaning on the chrome horn there to Smith, saying, hey, I think I'm a little bit faster. Let me get around you that time.
Bobby Stremme says, I don't care. I'm going to rim ride and try to get to the front. Stremme putting pressure on Byers on the high side.
Now, Stremme's taking the long way around this racetrack tonight here at Jennerstown, but it seems to be working for him. He's caught Byers.
Chris Lester on the inside again. Lap traffic will be a factor. Byers on the ball. He has to get into Stremme to move him up the racetrack. They tangle and nearly find the wall.
We'll give Stremme some credit there for holding that car in a relatively straight line. Byers gave it a hard right hand, and Stremme held on.
That allows Peter Cozzolino to move to the inside and pick up a position there. So Cozzolino brings the 11 car to fourth now in front of Stremme. Jesse Smith back to sixth. He's running in front of Eddie Hoffman in the 8 car. Wills in the 5, and here comes Charlie Menard, and up front it's still Jack Smith.
Some great racing tonight here at Jennerstown as we watch the leaders leaning on each other. You get a good look at Charlie Menard's car along with Castle's there in the 7.
Landon Castle now, we're still early in the going. Remember, that's a backup car, and he had to start from the back tonight. He's in the top 10. Up front, how about Byers? He's taken second away from Travis Dassow now.
All right, that's the points leader now. Kelly Byers going after the race leader, Smith.
Jack Smith can't hold on the Waffle House machine. Dinner's going to be served, and Jack Smith is the main course. Byers rolls by on the high side.
Kelly Byers made that look fairly easy, Rick. You're not supposed to be able to pass and take the lead on the outside here at Jennerstown.
No door open at all. Byers said, I'll make my own way, thank you very much. And look at him pull away from Jack Smith.
Kind of had the feeling that Smith might have been holding up the field a little bit there, and I think Kelly Byers proved it. Once he got around him, he's been able to pull away. Now Dassow and Cozzolino are kind of stuck behind Jack Smith.
Dassow is third in the 92. Cozzolino fourth in the McDonald's, number 11. And it doesn't look like Dassow has enough race car to drive around Smith. So as long as Smith is able to stay on the bottom there, Dassow's really got nowhere to go.
I think Smith basically holding serve for that second spot. Dassow's in there. I think Cozzolino might have a good enough car to get around both of them, but he's held up.
The lap car, Chris Lester, that 69 machine still on the inside. Thought that might have been a factor there, but nobody able to use him as a pick. There's Wills in the 5, Castle in the 7. Eddie Hoffman tries to dirt track it and can't do it. The Lisa Thomas Chevrolet cracks the wall over in turn 2. That'll bring out a caution flag. It'll be our third of the night. Just 69 laps complete here in the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. Hoffman refires the Lisa Thomas Salon's entry. We'll see. I guess the damage wasn't too severe.
Not too awfully bad. It's just sort of a lazy spin, and he loses it all by himself. I think he just goes down into the corner, was out of the groove there, Rick, and the next thing you know, he's backed it into the wall.
Yeah, sure looked like he missed his entry point into the corner. He was in the middle of the racetrack there, and nobody really around him, so Eddie Hoffman, who has been doing this a long time with a lot of success, he will slowly bring the 8 car down pit road. I don't know, did he miss his pit stall there, Doug?
I think it's a moment of indecision here, Rick. Do I go into the garage area, or do I let the team come out here and work on my car? Either way, a disappointing night for Eddie Hoffman here at Jennerstown.
We welcome you back to Jennerstown Speedway, coverage of the ASA Late Model Challenge Series, the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. Jeff Von Newton over to that long-haul trucking Chevy, trying to get rolling on the restart up behind Chris Stump, who brought on that first yellow of the night. Green is back in the air to begin lap 84. Everyone chasing Kelly Byers, Doug Rice. I'm not sure that Jack Smith has got much to show to Kelly Byers at this point.
The way Kelly Byers got around Jack Smith on the outside, he obviously has that car married up well to the racetrack. You see how quickly he pulls away here at about a 4-car length advantage.
Jack Smith, I'm sure, is hoping to hang on to second spot till the halfway break at lap 100. These teams will get 10 minutes to adjust on the race cars and put new right side Hoosier radials. Second spot in play. The 81 car, no. The 81 car gets together with the 5 of Ken Wills there, and Smith able to move by Wills along with Landon Castle.
I tell you though, Travis Dassow is in a little bit of a hurry to get around Smith. He wants that runner-up spot before they get to the break, and every position you pick up helps you when they restart for the second half of this event.
On board with Jeff Van Newton over again. He's behind Chris Stump here. You get a look at just how flat and fast Jennerstown Speedway is.
Just not much banking to catch your race car when you dive into the turns. You've got to have a great handling machine like Derek talked about at the top of the show.
Well, Ken Wills, we saw that contact just a moment ago. He has to bring the 5 car to pit road. May have a tire down. He flattened the right side of that race car in that contact. All right, Derek Bernasiglio, what's the story on Ken Wills' machine?
Guys, Ken Will is down here on pit road. The crew is breaking out another right rear tire. Looks like they may have had some problems with the tire going down. The tire that was on the car is all white-walled. He must have got into the concrete, white-walled the car. Now they're going to break out the jack stands. It looks like Ken Wills is going to spend a little more time down here on pit road.
Fairly easy to see what caused that right rear tire to go down. He's made some contact with the outside wall here at Jennerstown.
These cars are fast and durable, but they don't like contact with fences, generally speaking. So Wills will have a lengthy pit stop here in the first half of action. How about Bobby Stremme in that white number 25? Good fight for second. Smith in the Waffle House car. Dassow in the blue number 92, and then Stremme right there.
Everybody back there battling for second. Our leader, Kelly Byers, has checked out almost a straightaway advantage as we creep toward halfway, but Jack Smith's got a handful of Travis Dassow.
Dassow cannot find his way by. He's been trying to turn inside Smith's race car coming out of turn 4, and now Stremme will venture up into a second groove, see if he can work the outside.
Stremme's like the high line tonight, and Kelly Byers showed that you can pass up there, but for the moment, Rick, I think you got to be a little bit patient. You're coming up to halfway. You don't want to put yourself at risk. Come in, make the adjustments you need, then go after them in the second half of the race.
Well, the first handful of races this year, Doug, you had commented on it several times. The halfway leader really didn't have much of a shot at bagging the overall win. Now, Peter Cozzolino at I-70 almost turned that on its head, nearly closed the deal before some late contact took him out of the lead. But in this case, I'll bet you that Stremme's thinking, hey, I need to get by as many cars as I can before halfway.
Yeah, Stremme is not like a football coach playing from behind, content to run out the clock. He wants to try to throw the bomb right here and get as many points as he can. Because hanging up on the outsides, I think, a dangerous way around this racetrack.
And really, Stremme is probably going for the win here tonight. He's not really in points contention with Kelly Byers. Hasn't made all the races so far in the first half of the season. He's probably thinking, hey, I want to get to the front and bring home the big check tonight. That's what I'm focused on.
Rick, we talked all night about the bottom being the quick way around Jennerstown, but we saw Kelly Byers make the pass on the outside, and now Bobby Stremme's trying to do the same thing to take over the second spot.
Just got third away from Dassow, and Stremme in that number 25, able to run to the high side. Jack Smith says, hey, I'll protect the bottom. If he can drive around me, more power to him. Smith makes the car pretty wide, though, out of turn 2.
Bobby Stremme making life interesting for Jack Smith in second place.
Coming to the crossed flags and the caution, Kelly Byers is the halfway leader tonight in the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. Second spot will remain in the hands of Jack Smith. Stremme, Dassow, and Cozzolino, the rest of the top 5. Welcome back to Jennerstown Speedway, the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. Halftime in the ASA Late Model Challenge Series. Kelly Byers in the Texor 89 will be the restart leader. He's with Derek.
Down here in the 89 pits of Kelly Byers. And Kelly, you are really putting it down right now. You're in another zip code.
Yeah, the car, like we said, we were real loose when we started that race, and the car really came to us about, I'd say, 50 laps there, and now it's really just a rocket ship. I'm just riding around out there. I mean, we're so much faster than people. I'm just saving my stuff here. We're not going to make no adjustments. Car might have been getting a little tight towards that run, so we put 2 right side tires on it. Should free the car up pretty good, and hopefully go win this thing.
The car was so fast in the first half of the race. How do you think it's going to be the second half?
Even faster.
That's Kelly Byers. He's got a lot of confidence down here in his pit.
I was going to say that, Derek. That's confidence, not cockiness from Kelly Byers.
Man, that bodes not very well for the rest of the field here tonight as Jesse Smith's team goes to work on the Child's Tire Hormel machine. Meantime, Derek's caught up with the driver who will restart third here at Jennerstown.
That's going to be pretty tough.
In the halfway break of the ASA Challenge Division, and Bobby doing a great job in Tony Rosebrew's car. You look like you never missed a beat.
Oh, it was a little hairy out there. I was just wanting to watch it at the beginning. A lot of guys roll loose. The track was pretty green. I don't know if it's other compounds from the other classes here, but I'm just trying to run. Tony, give me a chance to run again this second time. We started 15th. I think we got a good car for the second half. Man, we're trying our hardest. I'm just trying to find a ride too. Just trying to get something. I love racing here. I love racing ASA and that. Kelly Byers, I just went and told him, I said, I want to race. I said, we had a little incident. It's behind us. Let's race. I'm here to race, not wreck.
You look like you're running the outside better than anyone. What's the secret to working that high?
I don't know. Throughout practice, we practiced on the bottom. We never even went to the outside. Trying to get a hook on the bottom, it hooked it up on the outside, so we're going to try our best. I got to get back in here, so thanks a lot.
Bobby Strimme's so excited he can't even slow down long enough to talk to Derek there, trotting back to his race car.
He knows he's got a pretty good race car for the second 100 laps tonight. Jack Smith will line up second for the restart. Travis Dassow hoping to get up into contention. He's with Derek.
Well, guys, Travis Dassow finished in the top 5 here last year. And Travis, are you hoping for a stronger finish this year?
Yeah, definitely. The first half went really well. We're kind of getting held up by some traffic. We're just kind of riding around, don't want to push the issue. I think we really got a good car for the second half, and we'll see what happens.
Was the 25 pressuring you a lot out there?
Not so much the 25. I was more worried about the guy in my front, out the front window, the 28 car. He kind of held us up a little bit, and been a little bit of a tough deal to try to get around him. So hopefully we get around him here quick in the first part of the second half and go on from there.
Well, he had a strong run last year and a strong one going this year. We'll see how Travis does.
Travis Dassow already thinking down the road, Rick, about how this race is going to unfold in the second half.
Well, if you felt like you were being held up by a slower car, in this case the Jack Smith machine, the 28, you've got to be thinking strategy. Passing is very difficult at a place like Jennerstown.
But they've shown tonight you can get to the high side and get around cars. We saw Kelly Byers, and we also saw Bobby Strimme make a move on the outside.
Your favorite drivers, ASA Late Model Series fan gear at 800-385-2503. We'll be back. They love their short track stock car racing at the legendary Jennerstown Speedway in the hills of western Pennsylvania. The Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. ASA Late Model Challenge tickets at 800-385-2503. Get your tickets for the remainder of the 2006 season. With Doug Rice, I'm Rick Benjamin, Derek Bertosiglio on pit road. 100 to go tonight, and we are back underway.
As we see Kelly Byers on the point here, and Rick, as you said, they do love their racing here in Jennerstown. Not much of a walk from downtown to the racetrack.
Or from that ice cream shop that's right outside turn 1 here. Oh, one of my favorite stops.
Had to bring that up, didn't you?
Absolutely. Bobby Stremme, Travis Dassow battling it out for third. Dassow needs to get by Bobby Stremme. Get up there and get around Jack Smith if he can.
Now, Dassow was worried about working around some of the slower cars. He thought he got held up in the first segment. He's trying to make a move quick here early on in segment number 2.
Don't know how many of the teams heard Kelly Byers' remarks when he talked to our Derek Bertosiglio during the halfway break, but if they did, I suspect they were very, very concerned. That 89 car was quick through the latter stages of the first 100. They said it'd be quicker now, and Byers has just taken off.
He was just rather matter-of-fact about that. It wasn't like he was bragging, hey, I got the fastest car out here, and if I can get out in front, I can pull everybody away. We see Smith here along with the 25 trying to make up some ground. Bobby Stremme's had a pretty decent run in that car tonight.
Running for second spot, Jack Smith has been in that position much of the night. Third belongs to Stremme. Fourth is Dassow, and now Peter Cozzolino in the McDonald's number 11. He's fifth. He wants to get by Dassow and see if he can work his way toward the front.
A bit earlier, we saw a lot of sparks coming out from the number 11 Cozzolino machine. Obviously, he's got a little bit of a problem there dragging something on the racetrack.
Brent Downey runs next in line behind Dassow, back there in 6th position. Downey in that Glenn Allen Jr. car. And then you've got Jesse Smith in the Hormel machine at age 16. Another one of those young stars on the rise. Now, here's Downey moving to the inside. He wants that position.
Downey in the red 23 trying to wrestle that spot away. If he can hold it down to the bottom, he'll get it. And Downey picks up the spot.
So Brent Downey on the move. Had a tough night at I-70 a few weeks back, but he has picked up a position now, headed toward the top 5 here at Jennerstown.
It was a non-factor at I-70, but running a lot stronger here tonight. Of course, nobody has anything at this juncture of the race for Kelly Byers. He is checked out on the rest of the field, and it looks like most of the drivers right now content to pretty much run single file and just gather some laps, as we see Castle's here down along the bottom of the racetrack.
That's Landon Castle in that 7 car out of Iowa. That is the Joe Gibbs Performance Oil Chevy backup car after he had problems with his primary machine. Now working to the inside of Jesse Smith. Castle started at the back tonight for 7th position on the inside.
Tells you a little bit about the depth of this race team, Rick, if they can roll a backup car off of the trailer and it performs this well.
Well, Castle's a very fine driver. Now, there's Eddie Hoffman in the Lisa Thomas Salon's 8th car. He sits 9th right now. They had problems in the first half, fixed the car, and Hoffman's pretty quick.
Charlie Menard's also sniffing around this pack. He's trying to get up there and run inside of the top 5 right now. He's in the yellow number 13, running the high groove.
Shown in 9th position, Menard in that Menard Stores Chevy, a driver that we thought would certainly be a contender for victory before this point of the season, but they've just struggled this year. They were great at Madison, Wisconsin in the first half, into the second half of that 200-lapper, and then lost the handle on the car completely. Charlie has struggled many nights in 2006.
Charlie Menard right now trying to hang on inside of the top 10 and try to pick up a couple of spots. He's behind the lap car of Hoffman right now.
Jesse Smith in that 81, the Hormel machine. He's from the Kansas City area, and that is a young gun indeed, 16 years of age. Leading the ASA North Tour standings now, still struggling to get up to speed here in the Challenge Series.
And he's getting a little shove there from Hoffman, got right up under the rear deck lid of that car, but Hoffman backs out of the throttle, doesn't create any more problems, and Charlie Menard still looking for a way to fight his way up and pick up a couple more spots.
Hoffman moves the 81 car and gets by him, so Smith will give way, and now Menard takes advantage as well.
Kind of felt like that might be coming. Sort of felt like Smith might have been holding up the freight train there, so they just moved him out of the way and pick up the spots.
Charlie Menard gains a position. Chris Stump would like to do the same. For Eddie Hoffman, it's just a matter of seeing if he can get close to the leaders and get back on the lead lap. Kelly Byers, though, he could mail it in, I think, at this point. As Smith slips up the racetrack, he'll lose another spot to Chris Stump right there.
Well, Smith's obviously losing the handle on his car right now because Stump gets by unabated there. He just makes the move with no problems at all. But for Kelly Byers, for the moment, he wasn't bragging at the halftime. He's got the best car out here right now. If he can just keep it between the fences, this one may be a fait accompli.
We're talking about Chris Stump there in the 35. Of course, he brought out an early yellow tonight, got into the wall. He's shown 18th, many, many laps down to the race leaders. Got by Jesse Smith there, but that really did not affect the running order. Kelly Byers, what a drive. 7th to 1st, before halfway, and now he's got a straightaway lead on Jack Smith.
I feel a little sorry for him right now, Rick, because he's all by himself. It's kind of like he's on the racetrack all alone. Smith's really not in touch with the race leader, although he's got a nice run going.
We thought that Smith might be in danger of losing second position there for a while. Bobby Stremme was pressuring him. Not so much at this point. Downstairs to Derek.
And guys, I just came from Peter Cozzolino's pit. He just moved into third spot. He told me the car started to get tight in that first half of the run. They did an air pressure adjustment, changed the tires. I went over to the crew and asked them if the car was coming in, and they just smiled and said, Peter hasn't said a word to us.
Cozzolino's still dragging. The undercarriage on that race car still tapping down on the racetrack, but apparently it's not bothering him. He's running a solid third right now.
Bobby Stremme has really backed up. Brett Downey's gotten by him. It's been a great run so far for Downey in that car that Glenn Allen Jr. owns and manages. There's Stremme. He's fallen back to fifth, so Downey on the charge. Stremme's kind of dropped anchor there. He gained spots early, but he hasn't been able to stay up with the leaders.
When Derek talked to Bobby at halftime, he was so excited. You could just sense the adrenaline pumping through him. He's really grateful to be in this ride, and I kind of hope he has a good finish because he's pinning a lot on this race.
And Landon Castle, he's gained 5 positions from his initial starting point, but it just doesn't seem as though that backup Joe Gibbs Performance Oil machine has enough to give Castle an opportunity to win.
You got to think if he could unload and have a top 10 finish with a backup car here tonight at Jennerstown, they'd all go home happy.
Eddie Hoffman might have an opportunity to be smiling when he leaves the Speedway tonight, 7th after starting 6th, but that includes that trip to the wall right before the halfway break. Dassow and Charlie Menard dogfighting for 8th.
The yellow 13, of course, the colors of Charlie Menard, trying to track down Travis Dassow, riding his tire tracks now, Rick.
Menard able to sit there about a car length behind Dassow, and you know he'd like to try to pass on the inside if at all possible, but Dassow able to hug that yellow line on the inside. Oh, trouble. Greg Taylor in the 26 car has gone around. Might have had a little help on the backside. That was pretty close to where the leader, Kelly Byers, was. Here's another look. Riding with Jeff Van Utenhoven here.
And we can see Greg Taylor gets a little bit of help there.
Like Van Utenhoven just tapped him a bit as they came off turn 2, and Taylor did that long, slow slide in the 26 car, and you saw Kelly Byers right in the same vicinity, probably Byers' closest call in a long time. Coming up on 60 to go at Jennerstown. Back at Jennerstown, field lining up behind the safety car. Single file restart. in the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. Kelly Byers, the restart leader, 58 to go, and we're back underway.
Once Kelly Byers took the lead in this event, it's pretty much been a fight for second. I don't mean to be anticlimactic, but he's been that good all night.
Byers opening up 4 car lengths quickly on Jack Smith's Waffle House entry. Peter Cozzolino with Brett Downey in tow. That could be a good fight for third. You've got Bobby Stremme there and Landon Castle starting to rumble in that 7 car.
Landon Castle in a backup machine trying to fight and claw his way up through the field tonight. He's going to work to the high side around Stremme.
Wants to get up there and take a spot away from that 25 car. Bobby Stremme, you pointed out, Doug, was all smiles during the halfway break. Thought he had a good hot rod for the second 100 laps. It just hasn't worked out the way he thought it might.
You know, I'm just glad for Bobby Stremme. As pumped up as he was, I thought, oh, this guy could be in a lot of trouble because he's got so much adrenaline going, but he's driven a pretty smart race. I think his car's going away a touch.
Landon Castle working the high side by side, to battle for position down into 1. Eddie Hoffman right there, Travis Dassow, Charlie Menard, Chris Stump is next in line, although many laps down. And here comes the car of Castle.
Castle trying to work around Bobby Stremme to the outside. Looks like Hoffman also thinks about going up there, but then thinks better of it and ducks down to the inside.
Landon Castle still has not been able to clear the 25 car Bobby Stremme. Now, Travis Dassow's got to be careful in that 92. He knows Charlie Menard is sniffing around the high side, which has started to come in here in the last several laps.
As it's gotten cooler here tonight at Jennerstown, the outside has sort of taken on a different character. You've got to wonder, too, if Landon Castle had his primary car, how potent would they be? They're doing pretty well with this backup machine.
Landon Castle getting around Stremme a moment ago, picks up the position and starts off in chase of the next car in line. That would be Brett Downey, who runs in 4th in that 23 car. So Castle now with clean racetrack. We see Menard going to the outside. He's going to take the measure of the 25, it looks like, as well.
It doesn't take long for race car drivers to look around, and if they see somebody else working a different line, they'll copycat them in a heartbeat, and that's exactly what Charlie Menard did there to try to work around Bobby Stremme.
Stremme hanging on for dear life on the bottom. He just doesn't have the speed anymore. That car has not worked nearly as well as he thought it would in the second half. Another case, Doug, I guess, of where you make the adjustment at halftime, you go the wrong way, you go to the back.
Well, part of it's a guessing game, and sometimes you guess right, but more often we've seen the race leader guess wrong. That's not been the case for Kelly Byers tonight, but for a lot of the races preceding this one, they figured wrong, and they wound up dropping back through the pack like a stone.
Eddie Hoffman moves the Lisa Thomas Salon's 8 car around Stremme, and here comes Dassow. He will pick up a spot now as well. So you normally think in a place like Jennerstown that's a flat half mile, you're going to get hung on the outside and get freight trained and go to the back. This is a case of Stremme just not able to keep up the pace on the inside.
I think Stremme's car's just lost a tick. I don't know if his tires have gone away or if it was a halftime adjustment, but it's obvious that car slowed down. Pretty impressed with Charlie Menard here, though. He's got a pretty good handling race car as we work our way into the latter laps here tonight at Jennerstown.
Menard has clawed his way to 6th in that Menard Stores 13. Of course, in ASA Late Model Series racing, everybody on a Hoosier radial tire, and these young drivers get the experience of racing on radials. Very important. One of the many factors that makes the ASA Late Model Challenge Series such a great development ground for young talent.
It's very attractive when you get to race full-bodied stock cars on radial tires, Rick. It just is a wonderful proving ground for all this young talent.
And the engine rules, of course, keeping all the manufacturers on a level playing field and forcing all these drivers to really develop their skills. You're not going to out-horsepower anybody in the ASA Late Model Series.
I like that because it shows you the talent of the guy behind the wheel.
And the talented guy that we're watching right now is points leader Kelly Byers in the Texor 89, leading at Jennerstown. Welcome back to Jennerstown Speedway, coverage of the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. I'm Rick Benjamin, Doug Rice is alongside, and Derek Persiglio on pit road. Dogfight for 7th spot here. Travis Dassow, Eddie Hoffman. Hoffman on the high side. Dassow has the room down low.
Travis Dassow in the blue 92 trying to make it stick to the bottom for the moment, though. Hoffman's going to hold him at bay.
Good fight here in Jennerstown. Hoffman giving Dassow running room on the inside. Boy, that's a veteran driver's move. Hoffman clears Dassow.
Hoffman makes the move, picks up the spot on Travis Dassow as we get down into the closing laps here tonight at Jennerstown. It's a good racetrack for that kind of action, Rick. It's wide enough. You can go too wide all the way around here.
They battle for 7th and 8th position, and Hoffman has 7th right now. Running order shown top of your screen. Kelly Byers in the Texor entry, the 89 car, the Waltham Racing Chevrolet. He has been a dominant player here tonight, looking for his 3rd win of the season in ASA Late Model Challenge Series competition.
Well, once he got the lead, he's had a stranglehold on it the rest of the night. As you can see, Byers, no one around him that concerns him as far as anybody else on the lead lap. The only thing he's got to be careful of is picking his way through lap traffic in the closing lap.
And that is a challenge at a place like Jennerstown Speedway. Byers lapping by Chris Stumpel at 35 one more time, and look at this. He's caught the 8th place car, Travis Dassow. We're in danger of seeing only 7 or 8 cars left on the lead lap when the checkered falls.
Now you've got to wonder, does Kelly Byers add his time here and take it easy and let these guys stay in front, or say, no, I want to put him down, let's go and do it?
Well, it depends, I would say, on what Howie Leto's probably telling him on the radio. I'm sure he's telling him, hit your marks, be consistent, knock off laps that are very, very close in time to everything else, as long as you don't get caught in something. And as long as he comes up on the traffic one at a time, I've got to think, Doug, he's going to keep his foot pretty well planted at the fire.
Well, that tells you a little something about how fast he is. He slipped around Travis Dassow with practically no struggle at all, and he's coming up on Hoffman next.
He's led 127 of the laps so far tonight. He'll see 10 to go this time by. To the outside, Hoffman able to move out there. Byers has to back out of the gas just for a moment, but he is under no pressure at all of losing the lead, and he can pick his place here to get back by Hoffman.
That's probably the most tense moment he's had in the last 50 laps, Rick. Being between 2 fairly quick cars, wants to dive to the outside. Less can happen out there for him, I think.
And how demoralizing is that for a guy like Travis Dassow, who's pretty young himself? We heard him say moments ago, top of the broadcast, hey, I'm 19 years of age. Eddie Hoffman's been doing this a long time. He's seen the good days and the bad, but for Dassow to know that you have no chance of running as quickly as the guys leading the race.
And you've got a top 10 race car. It's not like you're junk. You're beating most of the other cars out here, and the leader comes up on you and passes you like you've got 3 wheels.
Well, even more demoralizing is going to be who's next in line. How about Jack Smith in the Waffle House car running second? He's about to catch and lap Dassow and Eddie Hoffman.
Second place machine coming up on Hoffman and Dassow. So Jack Smith's had a pretty good ride tonight. And here again, a little bit of a moral victory, I guess, finishing second, but nowhere close to having the speed that the race leader Kelly Byers has carried.
Well, we saw Jack Smith run very well earlier in the season several times, only to have his efforts fail before seeing the checkered flag. And Brent Downey, really impressed with Downey tonight in that Glen Allen Chevrolet. 10 spots he's picked up.
We've had a chance to talk about him a couple of times. There's Cozzolino. He's had a pretty decent run. His car didn't come around like he thought it would in the second half, but a good effort tonight for Peter.
Peter Cozzolino sitting fourth in the McDonald Chevrolet, led all those laps at I-70, only to wreck shortly before the checkered flag. Headed to the white flag is Kelly Byers. Byers in the Waltham 89 all alone, lapping slower machines.
Kelly Byers, definitely the dominant player here tonight at Jennerstown.
Byers on his way to what will be his 3rd victory of 2006 in the ASA Late Model Challenge Series. All by himself, Kelly Byers is the dominant winner of the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200 at Jennerstown Speedway.
Everybody else playing for second place money tonight behind Kelly Byers. He's been the dominant player throughout the season, and he just holds that flag up high again tonight here at Jennerstown.
Lots of smiles at halftime, and you know that Byers is going to be even more ecstatic when he gets to victory lane in the Waltham Texor GM Performance Parts entry. So Kelly Byers taking that ride over this year from Stephen Light, who's now in the NASCAR Busch Series with Robert Yates Racing. Kelly Byers hoping to pull the same sort of advancement after this season concludes. Smith, Downey, Cozzolino, and Landon Castle, your top 5.
Pretty good run tonight for Charlie Menard coming home in 6th. We saw Eddie Hoffman battle to an 8th place finish.
Bobby Stremme gets credit for 11th. He was up in the top 5 earlier. Then Taylor, Chris Ross, Weldon, and Gary Wiltrout.
Ken Wills finishes out the top 20 here tonight at Jennerstown. You see the rest of the 27 cars in tonight's feature event.
The guy who really has to be frustrated, Chad Wood in the 2 car. Quick qualifier tonight. There's Brent Downey in the 23. He runs in 3rd, and that is his best ever finish in the ASA Late Model Challenge. Wood takes a big hit in the championship standings. Well, Kelly Byers taking his time, drying off on a hot night here. He'll get out of that race car in a moment, but we're about out of time here tonight in the ASA Late Model Challenge Series. We want to congratulate our winner, Kelly Byers. As always, get your fan gear at 800-385-2503. For Doug Rice and Derek Bernasiglio, I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for watching the Automotive Resources AC-Delco 200. We'll talk to you next time on the ASA Late Model Challenge Series.